My girlfriend beat the shit out of someone who broke into her house.
Slay.
The other night, I was sleeping at my girlfriend's. She lives one street over from the middle of nowhere. No streetlights, no sidewalks, and keeps her house dark at night, except for the room she's in to attract bats and detract bugs. I think it was like 2 a.m. when I woke up to my girlfriend telling me to call 911. Long story short, a guy had broken a window into the garage and was going through my car. He had a knife, but my girlfriend had a shotgun, unloaded, and wanted to scare him off with it. Cops really gave us a verbal shakedown for that, by the way. We're fucking idiots and don't ever confront a burglar. But this guy was clearly unhinged and charged us. I don't really remember how it happened, but my girlfriend somehow tripped him, or maybe he tripped on his own, and then started basically tramping this guy's ribcage down into his lungs with the stock. I had to physically stop her. A little bit about my girlfriend. She cries when she sees a sick or hurt animals. She's constantly doing or offering to do nice things for people. She wouldn't even squash bugs. She catches them and releases them if she finds any. She's a Buddhist. Non-violence is important to her. Before this, I described her as the gentlest person I knew. So what the fuck? After I stopped her, she was so calm. She sat cross-legged on the floor and then made a call to a lawyer before the cops even got there. No charges for girlfriend yet. Lawyer has been helpful. Cops less so. They wanted to arrest me when they got there for some reason. And my girlfriend had to actually ask for an ambulance for the guy because they tried to just load him into the police car and he was screaming and moaning.
Jesus.
He lived but is still in the hospital. It's been 2 days since this happened and I still feel like my heart is racing. Every time I see my girlfriend, I see her covered in blood with a shotgun. It hasn't changed how I feel about her, but god damn, it's changed how I see her.
Jesus.
Why were you laughing halfway through?
Just because it was like polar opposite. She cries when she sees sick or hurt animals. Like, that's me. She's the most gentlest person. She doesn't even squish a bug. Like, that's... she's like out here like boom, 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 boom. I'm just like picturing that. Holy shit. Is this advice or just true off my chest or what? True off my chest.
Yeah.
Damn. I could see how you could maybe see her in a different light. What is your stance on this?
My stance?
Yeah, because
I'd be like, yo, you're badass.
Like, I don't know. Maybe, like, does she need to go that far? Like, no. I mean...
How do you know when...
How
do you know when it's too far or not enough?
Right? Like, at one...
One less hit, maybe he stood up.
Yeah, like, at one end, you're trying to protect yourself, and it is kind of what's it called?
Protection?
No, yeah, is that the word? Self-protection?
Self-defense.
Self-defense. Oh my gosh. Ouch.
Words are hard.
Words are hard. Self-defense.
There was people screaming.
Yeah, I know.
Self-defense!
I know. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe she did what you couldn't do.
Maybe she was just in front of him. Then he didn't get a chance. Sounds like she had, like, grabbed the gun. She was kind of like, it's her house.
I feel like if this was a man, like, people wouldn't think twice about it. You know what I mean?
I guess, yeah.
Like, oh, you're a man. You're supposed to be strong and...
Supposed to fuck him up.
Yeah. That's why I'm kind of like, okay, good on her. I kind of don't think violence is the answer all the time, but when it's like someone's breaking into your home, like you don't know. It's either you or them sometimes. Like,
right?
You don't know what they're going to do. You don't know what they're capable of.
Fight or flight.
Yeah. And she fights.
She fights good. So there's a couple edits to clarify some things. My girlfriend is doing good, all things considered. Someone was worried that the blood was hers. The guy came in pre-wounded because there was bloody handprints on my car.
Oh.
He was definitely on something. My girlfriend is currently taking a bunch of drugs since she was exposed to his blood too.
Ooh.
Girlfriend hasn't talked much about what happened, and I'm not going to push her right now. I am worried about her. I am taking care of her. I've been staying with her since this happened, and feeding her. Someone said to bake a cake. I am a professional chef. Also, apparently an idiot. After this, I'm going to the store. A lot of people seem to think my view of her has changed for the worse. This is deeply untrue. Rereading my post, I realized I made it sound that way, so that's my fault. But it's still pretty fresh in my mind, and I'm processing things on the go. I was just having difficulty reconciling this new view of her with who I thought she was before, but I realize now that she hasn't changed. I just learned more about her. And what I learned is that she's a certified badass, to quote many of you in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Also, a lot of people are calling me out for not helping more. Don't get me wrong. I feel guilty that I didn't do much other than call 911 in the moment. I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses for myself because I was still absolutely scared shitless. But my girlfriend didn't really give me a chance to help. This all happened very quickly. By the time she woke me up, she was armed and out of bed. I'm deaf in one ear and a heavy sleeper anyway, so I'm glad she woke me up at all. I'm not sure why the shotgun wasn't loaded. She only told me afterwards. I was expecting her to shoot him, not beat him half to death.
Jesus.
Read the cops. I won't go into it, but my girlfriend has had issues with the local cops before. She lives in a town that barely qualifies for its own police department, and the one they do have has nothing to do 99% of the time. They seemed like they were in a rush to get finished with us the whole time they were there. I think they were probably pissed that they got called out on a 4th of July for something that actually requires paperwork. Thank you for everyone in the comments. I read every single one of them so far. There's a lot of good advice and a good amount of deserved criticism that I'm open to. How else do you improve?
Yeah, I would say in the first post, he was like kind of scared of her. It seemed like he was making this post like, oh, I don't know who my girlfriend is, but like in a negative way. He didn't really like say anything positive about her. So
Right?
definitely gave that vibe.
But like he didn't know the shotgun was empty.
Yeah.
So he's just like, holy fuck, she's gonna shoot him. She's gonna shoot him. And then twist. She just butts him with the end of the shotgun, just starts beating the shit of him like it's a stick. He's like, whoa, I did not expect this. Like it's one
so crazy.
Okay, like it's one thing to like hold a gun and be like, oh, freeze,
Yeah.
or I'll shoot. And like,
Yeah.
are we gonna hear a loud bang or not? Versus like beating the shit
Boom,
physically with the gun being boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Damn. So there's an update that comes 8 months later.
Oh.
Turns out the guy was a drug addict from the next town over. He was in his 60s and had an extensive history in jail and mental hospitals. Unfortunately, about 2 months after my post, he passed away.
Ooh.
We didn't know anything about why until we got a chance to talk to his sister, who insisted she didn't blame my girlfriend and that the doctors even said that he probably didn't have much longer anyway. My girlfriend was visibly distressed during this conversation, so I'm not sure whether or not the sister just said that to comfort her. After that, my girlfriend went on a trip to a national park during a week she knew I couldn't take off and forgot her meds. She had seizures that looked like mild psychosis / magical thinking and ended up refusing to come home at the end of the trip. She kept saying that she felt like she couldn't leave the woods because she was certain there was something she needed to learn there that she hadn't yet. And when I asked her how long that might take, she said, quote, some people take a lifetime. I asked if she was breaking up with me, and she said something about feeling like she was too attached to me, her house, her pets, etc., and that she needed to meditate on that for a while. I ended up going to her temple to see if anyone was willing to give me some perspective on the situation, since she was seeing things through a Buddhist lens. It was the right choice. A monk actually drove the 6 hours out to her with me to talk to her in person since she wasn't picking up calls. I am so unbelievably grateful for that monk because my girlfriend started taking her meds again and came home soon after. I've never been religious, but I started to read the Pali Canon afterwards and that shit slaps. My girlfriend was already volunteering her time at the temple, so now we both go together when we can. All things considered, since then, things are back to normal and going well. We're both children of divorce, so even before all of this, we were doing prophylactic couples counseling every few months, and for a while after, we were going once a week. My girlfriend has started seeing a therapist on her own as well, which I am proud of for her, since she's always hated the idea of individual therapy. We also stepped up our home security game. My girlfriend already had plenty of cameras, but now we have a door/window alarms and motion sensors. I also convinced her to get another dog, so now we have a 75-pound puppy. I know a lot of people were rooting for us to get married, but that's not going to happen. Legal marriage isn't something that interests us, and it never has, but we did buy each other rings, and it's great comfort to have something physical to remind me of my person all the time. We're also considering having a small ceremony next fall. Thanks again for all the feedback on my previous post. I got a lot of great advice and some good criticism. I showed it to my girlfriend and she got a kick out of the comments, and we had a little mutual cry over how kind all of you were. I asked her if she was okay with me posting this update, and she clucked at me and told me to do whatever I want online as long as I'm being nice and anonymous, lol. So hope this qualifies.
Well, that's a good update. It does seem like she did kind of spiral for a little bit and blaming herself because, yeah, like...
Survivor's guilt
Yeah.
type of thing. Or
also, like her religion, too.
Yeah. She's like practicing nonviolence Buddhism,
Yeah.
but then when you're actually in a situation,
Yeah.
usually you defend yourself. Like fight comes out, like, yeah, it's I also believe in nonviolence, but I'm gonna defend myself if I need to in a situation. Am I gonna be aggressive and provoke and do stuff?
Yeah.
No. But I'm gonna defend myself. But I can understand if you're like committed to nonviolence and then you get put in a situation where you need to defend yourself. It's hard to...
It's like what you've been trying to like
avoid.
Yeah. Like you're trying to be this other person, and yeah, I could see that.
Yep.
Well, glad it all worked out though.
Back to you.
Alrighty.